I'm going to show you joining in the round to knit on double pointed needles. I've already cast on the number of stitches I'd like, and I just want to show you before I start distributing the stitches that there's this chain that forms on the bottom here. And if you take note that the chain is smooth and there's no twists in it before you start to distribute your stitches, you can refer back to how that looks to make sure that they're not twisted when you join. So just slide these stitches close to the tip of the needle. Take one of your empty needles and transfer the stitches onto the needle and slide them down. Take another empty needle and transfer some more stitches to that one. So you've got your stitches along here, and then that chain that I referred to from the bottom of your cast on is here, and it's not spinning around the needles at all, and it's not twisted in this area between two needles. The chain just kind of grows right up this here, that join, and this join here. There's no break in the pattern. So then we're going to want to join this last cast on stitch with the first cast on stitch here. And so just make sure that your chain is all running along smoothly. Your working yarn is kind of coming up your triangle, and the tail can be coming down the bottom here. And the way that I like to join my knitting in the round, because right now it's not connected, the last stitch and the first stitch. So in order to do that without leaving a gap that might stretch out later, I like to move the very first cast on stitch, this one here, onto the third needle, like so. So here it is now. And then I'm going to take on the last cast on stitch, this one right here, and I'm going to move it onto the first needle by jumping it over the one I just slipped. So I'm going to pull that slipped stitch here, and the one that I just jumped over is this stitch here. So I didn't gain or lose any stitches from my original cast on number. They just traded places, the last stitch and the first stitch, so that now my triangle is joined. So what I like to do is move the needle I'm going to be working from to be above the two other needles. It gives it a little bit of ease to move around, and then you can begin knitting. So you take your empty needle and you just start working away. It's a good idea to try to make yourself ignore these other two needles. Try not to think about what they're doing. Just concentrate on the needle that you're knitting onto and the needle that you're knitting from. And just knit across. When you get to the end, you slide your stitches to the middle of your now full needle. Take your empty needle in your right hand, spin your work counterclockwise, and then move the needle you're going to work from to be above the other two needles, and then you can knit those stitches. So that's needle 2 of your triangle. Okay, slide these stitches to the middle. Turn your work counterclockwise. Bring your next needle above the other two, and you can begin knitting. And there you have it. You've finished one round of your circular knitting. It should look like this. Here's your original chain here. There's one row of knitting and your triangle. Thank you.